Never have I ever been so thankful for choosing a longer layover. Hi there, and welcome to Zurich. I just landed from London City Airport on the first ever A220, and now I'm making my way through the transit facilities here in Zurich. A transit procedure which has more turns and stops and starts than one of those mouse mazes. This is my fourth flight to get me to New York, specifically to Newark Airport today. My previous 3 flights are linked in the description. When I was booking this flight, hell-bent on departing from London City Airport, I had a choice of a 2-hour layover and then flying to JFK, or a 6-hour layover and then flying to Newark. I dwelled on that for approximately 3 seconds and then booked the Newark flight. You see, if you're an aviation lover, flying outside of the Schengen area, and have Star Alliance Gold status, there is a lot to love about having 6 hours here. Zurich has one primary passenger terminal with 3 piers, A, B, and E. The E gates where I'm heading to now are only for non-Schengen flights and where all of the fun happens. Before we get into all that fun though, let me introduce myself to any new viewers. My name is Kevin and I am the Flip Flop Traveler. I'm here to give you honest content about flights, hotels, trains, and cruises. I paid for this trip out of pocket, and as always the price that I paid is in the description below. Swiss had no knowledge that I'd be filming, and I didn't receive any compensation from them for doing so. Everything in this video is my personal opinion, based on my own unique experience. The rest, I'll let speak for itself. Let's get started. I forgot to mention that it's apparently a maze of escalators. There's a train that connects the main terminal to the E gates. Today really is a testament to how much I do not understand the Schengen immigration policy. I arrived from a non-Schengen country, and was delivered directly to the Schengen part of the airport, and then needed to exit Switzerland. But I never really entered. I don't know. I just do what I'm told. And here we are, almost. Another security check and then we're done. I was waiting for the rain to stop anyway, so I supposed it all worked out. The E-gates are where you'll find all of the wide-body aircraft at the airport, mostly dominated by Swiss Airbuses. Swiss currently has 88 aircraft in their fleet, with 4 A340s, 12 777s, and 14 A330s, which would be flying on today. Among the 20 aircraft that they currently have on order, 5 of them are for A350s, which will be outfitted with the long-delayed Lufthansa Allegris cabins, but in Swiss's own finishings. Those A350s will replace the gas-guzzling A340s, which are still hanging on in Swiss's fleet. A few months ago, when I posted about this flight on my community tab, I questioned whether this was the best airport on Earth. At the time, the reply of the day seemed to be, it can't compare to Singapore. While I would agree, Zurich's airport is not laden with butterfly gardens, cinemas, endless food options, and a sunflower terrace. It does have one thing that Changi doesn't, and frankly, this is the only reason why I think it is the best airport in some regards. Their terrace. You may also know that the Swiss lounges here have terraces. But both of those were closed today, so I was very lucky that this public one was open. I spent 2 hours out here and was just kinda like a kid visiting FAO Schwartz for the first time. There were just too many things to look at. Let me show you why. Here are the E-gates and here's the terrace. Zurich has 3 runways, each in a different direction, and somehow they use all 3 of them at the same time. So it really was like a bit of a whack-a-mole, but with planes taking off and landing. It also didn't hurt that as the weather began to clear, the sun began to set, making for some gorgeous lighting and reflections. After this, I'm going to take you to the Senator Lounge, but for the next couple of minutes, just enjoy a bit of the view. In the argument in favor of iPhones have just gotten way too good, I would say this is Exhibit A. Okay, now that the terminal is flooded with that same beautiful light, let's head to the lounge. I am Starlines Gold, so I had two options, either the business class lounge or the normally slightly better Senator Lounge. I say normally because, well, normally they are just a little bit better, sometimes a little less crowded. But not today. Today I chose their Senator Lounge because it has one of the better lounge bars anywhere. More on that in a bit. If I was designing a house, I can't say for certain that the interior wouldn't look exactly like this. The lounge is beautiful, sleek, and uniquely Swiss minimalist. You may be wondering, why is it so empty? I was thinking the same thing. My guess is that the Newark flight is one of their later transatlantic flights to depart. So after the last Boston flight, you're kinda on your own. Normally, there would be a long terrace open here as well, but as I mentioned, it was closed for the day. I suppose because of the rain, but it wasn't raining, so I don't know. The real claim to fame for this lounge, though, is the 2810 Whiskey Bar. 2810 refers to Zurich's runways, and you can see the runway motif in the walls and the ceiling as well. The bar has over 100 bottles of whiskey on offer, and from what I've read, you can completely nerd out if whiskey is your thing. Choose the style of glass, how it's served, taste of flight, you name it. Of course, in addition to that, there's also plenty of food. As I show you the food area, let me ask a question to anyone in the know. While I was here, there was some sort of small corporate tour going on. Someone from Swiss guiding 4 or 5 others around the lounge and talking about the lounge's highlights and key figures, etc. At one point, he stopped kinda close to me, and I overheard him say something like, "Do you know what's so special about these chairs?" He proceeded to take an armchair and flip it upside down and simply point to something that I couldn't see. I really want to know what he was pointing at. Are there special plaques on the bottom of the chairs or something? Is the cow's name down there? I didn't really feel it was appropriate to interrupt his tour or to start flipping chairs, so someone enlighten me, please. After that mystery, I requested one of the shower suites, which are shared with the business class lounge and are nicely equipped. Okay, let's head to the gate. Swiss, or Swiss International Airlines as they're officially known, flies to 117 regular and seasonal destinations, and is owned by the Lufthansa Group. Around 20 years ago, Swissair, not to be confused with Swiss, went bankrupt, and their operations were consolidated into their regional subsidiary, Crossair, which then became Swiss International Airlines. In 2006, Lufthansa bought them up, and Swiss has served as their premium airline in the portfolio since. As we were waiting at the gate, what became a bit of a desperate call began. An employee, I would presume since they were wearing street clothes, had a tablet in hand and was making announcements from the gate that there were upgrades available on this flight for very attractive prices. I will not attempt the accent, but let me attempt the tone. Ladies and gentlemen, we have very attractive offers available for upgrades on this flight to premium cabins. If you would like to know the cost of these premium cabin upgrades, please visit us at the desk. Thank you. The same announcement was made 4 or 5 times. I overheard someone who asked about the announcement say that it was 350 Swiss francs. He said premium cabins, plural, so I went up and just asked about first, just to know the price, to which he said that there were none available, presumably since they don't have extra catering. Prior to the date of departure, upgrades to first were available for around $1,400. We began boarding a few minutes behind schedule. As we head down the jet bridge, let's take a look at tonight's flight stats. There was a single jet bridge attached at door 2, and I was warmly greeted as I stepped on board. And here we are in what would remain a half-full cabin, perhaps less than half full, for our 8 hours to Newark. The cabin is laid out in a 1-2-1, 2-2-1 alternating pattern and has a total of 45 seats spread over 2 cabins. These are some of the densest business class seats out there. The throne seats, as they're usually affectionately called, are available for purchase prior to check-in for around 100 francs. Personally, I don't really like the throne seats because they're really tight in just about every direction, except for counter space. If you did want to try to get one of them for free though, there is a bit of a trick. Online check-in opens 23 hours before departure, but the seats become free 48 hours before departure. So be sure to set your alarm. Otherwise, you'll notice that these are the exact same seats, well, almost the exact same seats, that Austrian uses on their 767s that I reviewed, as well as the 777s that both airlines use. On 767s, it's all 1-2-1, and on the 777s, it's 2-2-1, 1-2-2. So, no matter the aircraft, the amount of space is the same, and they're all equally dense. But for some reason, I did feel that these were definitely more comfortable than on Austrian. First, I think the seats themselves may have been ever so slightly wider, but also the cabin itself is wider, giving a better feel. I also felt that the seat backs and shell of the seat itself were higher on Swiss. Might have been wrong about that. Overall, it is a very dated product, but it's one that I was surprisingly very comfortable in. The seat has a fair amount of open storage on the counter here next to you, as well as a USB port and power port. The window side armrest can go up and down, but it's a bit of a tricky one. The armrest itself needs to be rotated inwards as you then push it down. Given its age, I think it's generally just a really smart looking cabin. Except for the in-flight monitor. That is comically small. Underneath that is a bit more storage for things that you don't mind becoming projectile during takeoff. The foot cubby is surprisingly a decent size and is quite far away. The only downside is that there's no open space below it to store a carry-on. My flight attendant came around and introduced herself. She was exceedingly friendly, but within that Swiss reserved realm, and offered me a glass of champagne. A remote for the TV is in the armrest, and controls for the seat are just above that. There's also a small area to store your shoes, though mine didn't fit. If you head down to the description, you'll find my next 5 videos to come out, as well as a link to my other business class videos. On your way down there, don't forget to subscribe. I release full-length videos every Thursday and Saturday. Looking back at a couple Austrian clips, they sure do look exactly the same. Both of these shots are at my eye level. Economy remained less than half full as well. Warm towels were passed around. And can someone please tell me, what is this? We pushed back and the safety video began to roll. Here's your friendly reminder to click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with friends and family. Those are truly the easiest ways, all free for you, to help support the channel. If you'd like to support me further, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks very much in advance. Our mega multi-language announcements were made, and then we taxied to the runway to get ready for takeoff.
Good evening, dear passengers, and welcome aboard this international airlines flight Ritz service to Newark. On behalf of the cabin, I'd like to greet you most warmly on board this Swiss Airbus A330. Our flight time to Newark will be approximately 8 hours.
The spool up, takeoff, and airport stats are coming up next.
In a few moments, we will inform you about
Let's take a look at the comfort items on board. The pillow is actually really nice. A bit of fluff, a bit of bounce, and a nice crisp cover. The blanket was a little bit on the frumpy side, but it got the job done, with its mix of like 12 textures. The headphones were slightly more modern than I was expecting and were decent quality, with moderate noise cancellation. The minimalist but stylish amenity kit hit on the very basics that you would need in flight, keeping in mind that there's moisturizer and stuff like that in the bathroom. Well, that works well. Time for the meal service to begin. I started off with a beer and a sparkling water, which was served with a small ramekin of warm nuts. The highly over-engineered table eventually cooperated. Here's a look at tonight's menu. 2 notes. First, the red prices on the wine list are my addition to the graphic to give you an idea of the wine value on board. Also, similar to Lufthansa, Swiss has a book the cook style program, offering 8 total choices. The first 4 choices are the same as the ones on the menu, and the final 4 are only available online before the date of departure. For starters, I chose the roast beef with pickled vegetables, which was absolutely fantastic. This was served alongside a side salad, bread, and a cheese plate. I also went for a glass of the Swiss Red on offer. For the main dish, I chose the Zurich-style sliced veal, as offered online. I'm not really too sure it's winning any presentation awards, but it certainly tasted good enough for me not to really care how it looked. Things were wrapped up with a delicious carrot cake with mascarpone cream and carrot gel, full of warming spices. After that, chocolates and another bottle of water were passed out as the cabin lights were dimmed. The bathrooms were kept spotless throughout the flight and as shiny and polished as could be, with Swiss's signature herbal products on offer. As for entertainment, there was a sufficient selection on board. The screen was responsive enough, but it was just so small and a bit dimly lit. Wi-Fi was available, but if you want more than messaging, which is free, you'll pay quite a bit for it. And here's the bed in full flat mode. From the thighs down, it's pretty narrow, but plenty long enough. For very still back sleepers, it'll be fine. For the rest of us, it might be a bit of a challenge. Swiss has a bistro menu, which they offer around 90 minutes before landing. There were 5 offerings, but if you're not into cabbage on a plane, you'd eliminate the first 2. I chose to have the other 3 together: a cheese tartlet, fruit salad, and ice cream. All 3 hit the spot, but the tartlet was especially good. Before the first meal was over, the flight attendant and I had a chat about my camera mount on the window, as in she thought it was cool and mentioned that the captain told them there's a chance that we'd see the northern lights tonight. I've heard that before, so I was cautiously optimistic. When I woke up for the pre-arrival meal, she told me that there were beautiful northern lights, but she didn't want to wake me up. I died a little bit inside. She made the right decision, but still, I died inside. I've been wanting to see the northern lights since I was born, I think. Anyway, soon enough, we were in our final approach to Newark. I'm on the wrong side of the aircraft to see Manhattan, but hey, you're gonna get to see a one-of-a-kind, beautiful view of New Jersey's second finest collection of semi-tall buildings. It's almost as good as the London landing we had a few videos ago. Almost. Enjoy the landing. The airport stats are coming up. We had a very, very quick taxi to the gate, and then we were at wonderful Terminal B. And that is that. Zurich Airport, I want to move in. Senator Lounge, divine. Food on board, delicious. Service, friendly and consistent. The seat itself, a mixed bag, but mostly comfortable. So this was overall a great flight, and better than I was expecting. I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. I'll see you next time for a very special flight in Japan Airlines first class from New York to Tokyo. Oh, and as always, thanks for watching until the end.